Thanks so much to our title sponsor, Visit Bloomington. We would not be here without them. Check them out, visitbloomington.com.
Hey, say, honey, let's go out to eat. Relieve our culinary duties. With all these restaurants to sweep us off our feet, they're bound to turn us into foodies. Oh, no dishes, no dishes, no dishes. We'll have a bottle of wine for lights and have a good time. No dishes, no dishes.
We're here with another episode of the No Dishes Podcast. I'm here with my good friend, Hope Kaser, the Assistant Director of Athletic Dining for Indiana University.
Correct.
I went through that in my head 6 times. It's like 7 words to put together, and that's my limit's usually 4. So thanks. I'm glad I nailed that.
You got it. You got it.
Thanks for being here. I appreciate it.
Oh, thanks for having me. I'm excited to be here.
So we've gotten to work with you quite a bit with the Chocolate Mousse through supplying football games, events, and I've gotten to see over the years just all the stuff you guys do at IU Athletics. So I thought it'd be really interesting to bring you in. You have a really cool personal story too that we can chat about. So we'll just kind of dive right in. I know you were at Notre Dame before IU. Let's go back even further than that, from where you're from, and kind of give us the growing up Hope story.
Holy moly. Holy moly. So I'm from Northern Indiana. I worked at Notre Dame for 23 years. Decided my daughter was going off to that P school. I'm not allowed to mention down here at that I school, Purdue. And so it was time for a change. So I came down here, started working with athletics. Absolutely love it. It's just great to be involved in sports and then just see the different athletes. And, you know, we do pregame meals to catering. So to see that span of what do athletes eat and then versus what do the sweet people eat.
So who eats the football probably eats the most?
Who's going to watch this? I got to be careful.
I didn't know who eats the most.
Who watched this podcast? I'm going to say football eats the most, but some of our women's team can rival that. Maybe like rowing, just because, or swim and dive, because you know they're burning so many calories that they have to put the calories back in.
Yeah, what was the thing I saw? It was like Michael Phelps eats like 8,000 calories
isn't
a
that
day
crazy?
or something.
Yeah.
So it's like they're just trying to be the best athletes they can.
Yeah.
How long have you been at IU in your position?
So I've been here 8 years.
So 30 years then?
Yeah, a lot. Yeah.
Were you the same? Yeah. You're like, I don't like to use numbers. What was your position at Notre Dame? Because you said 23?
23 years. So I was their general manager for concessions. So I oversaw 80,000 of my closest friends would come over 6 times a year.
Yeah. I like that.
And eat with me. We had 60 concession stand locations. And then when we outsourced, so Notre Dame did outsource to a contract company, I went over and did logistics because we had 26 food locations on campus as well. So we oversaw those.
So you were involved in athletics, but it was...
No, we actually worked for food service. So some universities have their own internal food and athletics and some source just from the campus.
Gotcha. So Notre Dame, you were all over.
Right.
IU is just athletics.
Correct.
Have you noticed, is there a big difference in, IU fans love popcorn, Notre Dame fans love hot dogs? Is there like something that we would find interesting between No, it's the same.
It's the same.
Beer,
I mean, what
popcorn.
do you eat when you go to, what do you guys eat when you go to a game? I still want hot dogs. I love hot dogs. So not really a big difference. I think the big difference is coming from food service to working within athletics. Notre Dame, you weren't interactive with the teams and stuff. And I really enjoy sports. So I really like that part of being at IU and being in, right in it and being able to see the sports and be there.
Yeah. So where did you go to school?
So I just went to a community college.
Okay,
and So, but I did take classes at Notre Dame, so they let you do that. So much
nice.
like you could do at IU. So I took a couple of accounting classes.
Okay, sweet. Well, that's cool to be a Northern Indiana gal and then get to go to Notre Dame. Did you feel like you were betraying anyone when you came down south?
Our rivalry wasn't as big as IU Purdue,
right,
I didn't know about all of that until I got down here. So no.
Yeah, there's not too much like Notre Dame, IU, other than just being the interstate.
Right.
What have been some of the I guess most fascinating things you've seen from a student athlete standpoint? Like you said, at Notre Dame, you're not seeing the athletes. What I guess did you not expect when you got to deal with the athletes more? Were they just We're, I guess I'm.
That's just a tough one. I think the difference is we didn't do pre-games up there. So, Notre Dame's a football school. So only football was treated differently. And they didn't have their own dining room for all the athletes. What I love about IU is all 24 teams eat in the dining room. So you're not singling out any sport. It's open to absolutely everyone. So that's pretty cool for me to see that inclusion and instead of exclusion. So that's the difference between the two schools.
Yeah, I love to see that your soccer teams, your basketball,
Right.
co-ed can all just intermingle because they're all on much different schedules than the rest of the student body.
Right.
So I'm sure they have a lot to talk about, relate to, and just I can only imagine the schedules they have.
Yeah.
I mean, your schedule we were talking about before we started. What's a typical day in the life of Hope as far as what you have to do and what you have to get done?
So I oversee feeding the athletes as well as catering in our facilities. So I had to come in at 5:00 this morning to be.
Thank you for being here this late. Then, yeah.
We fed football, so before they travel or the non-travel team, sometimes we'll get breakfast in the morning. So we had to do that first thing this morning. Then the dining room opened. Then we had some more catering, and then I got off, and here I am.
How many staff do you have working in athletic dining?
So we have 12 full-time staff in athletic dining, but we probably use about 20 to 40 temp employees or part-time, however you want to phrase them, that only work on when you need them, an event-based business. And then we'll use temp companies or nonprofit groups to help us supplement on the bigger, like footballs and stuff like that.
That's right. Yeah, I've seen different organizations. I know like Vanessa with Kiwanis. I was just messaging her today. I need to talk to Garrett about that, actually. Don't let me forget. And that's always cool seeing them back when we set up our chocolate mousse tent on each side of the stadium and walking by, seeing the different volunteer groups. And they're like, oh, hey, what's up? Like, what are you doing? They're like, just raising money. Yeah.
What a great aspect. And if anybody's looking, I'm sure they're always looking for groups. So pretty much we provide the supplies, you provide the labor, and then you get money back to your group for that you can use for whatever your group wants, whether it's to donate to something else, to use within your own group or whatever. So it's a great cause.
And I found too that it's fun, even when you're not watching the game, it's fun to be there. It's fun to be part of the energy. You hear the cheers, so you might not know necessarily what the score is, but you could tell if we're doing good or bad based on how much cheering you hear like above you in the bleachers. You guys do a lot of stuff. Have been fortunate enough to do like the 1776 Club. Can you talk about some of the offerings you guys do in there? Because I thought it was really cool. One of the times it was like a build your own pasta bar.
Right.
How do you guys kind of work with the varsity club to figure out how we're going to make all these donors happy and what do they want?
I don't think we'll ever make the donors happy. We probably have the wrong chocolate mousse in the cart, so I don't know that we'll ever make.
That might be on me too, yeah.
I don't know that we'll make. And it's definitely interesting because you go right from football to basketball, and so football is the 6 games, basketball is the 19. So how do you do 19 different menus that everyone's going to like? So you really can't. You just have to keep mixing it up and making sure you're doing a good mix. And then some of the locations have presentation stations. So what you were talking about, where our staff you pick what you want and then they do it in a skillet right in front of you. So to keep it interactive and then maybe to keep the donors happy.
Yeah. Do you get much feedback from them?
Oh, for sure.
Okay. What is that? How do you receive that? Is it just in person, or do they shoot an email over, be like, hey, I'd love to see more brownies with nuts available, or you know what I mean?
Come on, with all the allergies, no one's asking for nuts.
I don't know.
You should know that. No, that's interesting. So the feedback can come from the presentation cook, which is usually Steve, or it can come through the varsity club where, hey, they like this, or hey, they don't like this, or how can we make it different the next time we do it, because we didn't get a lot of positives. So we're always taking that feedback to improve.
Now, what about working with dietitians because obviously these athletes, like we said, have massive calorie counts that they need to intake for their output. How do you work with the dietitians to figure out that they're getting what they need to perform at, the top level? Right.
So we submit the menus for the dining room to the nutritionist, and he looks them over to make sure that there's enough on there. So whether you have an allergy or you're trying to cut carbs, you're trying to add carbs, and then he works with them one-on-one, and then they come in the dining room and take what he's giving them to fuel themselves. So we don't really get into that because I'm not a dietitian, so I don't want to give them wrong information. But we definitely, it's an interesting, what do I want to say? It's different than a regular dining room. So there's usually 2 proteins, 2 vegetables, and 1 starch, and they don't get dessert.
Oh,
because they're athletes. So
it's a good thing I never accepted my full ride that I was offered.
Right.
No dessert?
So sometimes they get dessert, but not on a daily basis. So we try and serve or be as healthy as we can. There's a salad bar. But again, with having 24 teams, each diet's going to be different and each athlete's going to be different.
Don't miss Constellation Stage and Screen's upcoming production of Webster's Bitch. On stage January 25th through February 11th at the Ted Jones Playhouse. When their editor-in-chief gets caught using some unexpected profanity, the employees of Webster's Dictionary find themselves at the center of an internet uprising. A play about the power of words and the people who define them. See Webster's Bitch on stage January 25th through February 11th in downtown Bloomington. Find tickets at cconstellation.org. So in your time, the Memorial Stadium, that south end zone has been redone because they used to all eat down underneath, right, on the west side of Memorial Stadium. Yeah. What's that? I forget the name. Is it Tobias?
It's the Tobias Nutrition Center. So the Tobias has donated the money for that portion of it. So we used to be underneath, and it was called the Hoosier Room, because it was in the dungeon underneath.
Yeah, it's a trip. It's a blast from the past.
When
you go down there, you feel like you're in the 70s. Yeah. I don't know when it was made, but it's interesting.
It is pretty old. And then now that old space downstairs is part of the new locker room, the new football locker room. Oh. So when they built the south side, then they could make the locker room larger.
So how's Tobias kind of changed the game for you and your ability to feed all the athletes?
So much better. I mean, more seating, more lighting, which makes the food, of course, look better when you're in the dungeon. Yeah. The impression isn't, oh, this is great. And then more bars. So we have more areas to service and do different things. We have presentation where in the morning the kids can get made to order scrambles. In the afternoon, they can get made to order skillets and then a presentation station. So they get a lot.
Do you have any, not to put you on the spot, any numbers that can showcase the sheer volume of food that you guys are dealing with on a daily basis?
I don't know that I can put a number to it. It changes from day to day because we have to guess who's coming in based on their practice schedule, like you talked.
Right.
There's just 24 different schedules. So some days, some teams are in, some days they don't all come in or they're on the road. So it's just sometimes a guess.
What about like on a game day? Do you we do 5,000 hot dogs?
Well, Roy would be able to tell you that. Okay, our director would be able to tell you that.
I know that's what I said. I didn't mean to put you on the spot. I know that's much more Roy's department.
Right.
Because, just the volume of people that comes through there. I know what we can do in ice cream, and our lines are not nearly what the lines are at the full concessions. Yeah.
That would be interesting. You'd have to take the breakdowns and then, what's the seating, how many people come. So I'm sure there's statistics, but I just don't get into the concessions, so I'm not really sure.
So is there anything we skipped over or has it all been straight Notre Dame, IU? Or did you have any other odd jobs in high school or anything like that before?
I did. So I worked for the convention center in South Bend. So the Century Center. I don't know if you're familiar.
Not super familiar.
Since you go kind of up north sometimes for relaxation. So I was at the Century Center. I worked at the school court, but most of my life was at Notre Dame, and then I came here.
Okay, so no, I was bussing tables and
no,
not that discredits you.
No,
at all. You're like, sorry, I didn't go to the School of Hard Knocks.
No, I paid my dues. Just like everybody else at Notre Dame, I started in catering, then became an assistant, and then eventually got to be general manager. So I paid my dues to get there.
What would you say? Would you say IU basketball fans or Notre Dame football fans are more passionate?
Sorry, it's Notre Dame football fans.
Wow. Okay. All right. I had to.
You had to know, right?
I'm curious. Because it's Notre Dame is such a football school.
Oh, so
IU is such a basketball school. There has to be.
It's so crazy. Well, and you have to remember, even our arena, or most arenas for basketball are 15,000, 18,000. You're talking 80,000 people. I would have to get there at 6:00. People would already be tailgating in the parking lot, and I'd leave, and they'd still be tailgating in the parking lot. You're like, go home.
Yeah,
the game's over. Go home.
Hey, they know that it's a marathon, not a race. A sprint.
So crazy.
They've got the 4% ABV. They're just riding steady the whole day.
Although I guess if you had to compare that to the students who attended Notre Dame football games and the students who come to IU basketball, probably the students for IU basketball where they camp out and they really want to get on the front row. So there is that.
Okay, sweet. Yeah. Well, we'll take student body over alumni any day.
Exactly, right?
So what you're saying is IU's better in every way.
Yes.
Thank you. We'll clip that out. We'll throw it. It's got 10,000 views.
That's what I said. Yes. I said what I said. Hoosier Hysteria's Friday.
Well, I'm glad you brought that up. Hopefully, I know we just got Liam McNeely, a 5-star recruit. This is going to come out for a while, so I'm trying not to date it too much.
Yeah.
But there's another 5-star that's announcing Friday, which happens to be the day of Hoosier Hysteria. So we'll see.
I know, right?
Trying to go for banner number 6.
Let's cross our fingers.
Banner number 6 starts with the 5-star recruits.
Yes.
So you mentioned Hoosier Hysteria. We do, you get to do, we were talking beforehand, you get to do all these other cool things like boogie with a hoodie, rap with the young kids. Young kids, I like him too. He's all right.
I had to look him up.
Yeah. But you're doing other interesting things people might not understand when we're hosting concerts at Assembly Hall. You mentioned that Boogie with a Hoodie had an interesting rider.
If you're not familiar with riders, so each entertainment who comes in comes with a rider. So it's things they want that makes them feel comfortable on the road. But some of the things our riders are interesting. Like the Boogie with the Hoodie wanted some Calvin Klein shirts. So odd to me, but okay. I mean, how many places can you go where you need shirts?
Right. So what did you guys do? Did you send someone out?
Luckily, I only had to source the food and bev, but I think they did send someone out to find
TJ
shirts.
Maxx or something.
Well, I'm like, what happens with Macy's gone? And they're like, well, there's Kohl's. And I'm like, okay, true. I forget. No offense, Kohl's. I just forget that they're over there.
They're kind of tucked back, but I mean, Mother Bears West is over there, and they just crush it.
I know.
Yeah, they do an amazing job.
Yeah.
But it's that's where where I start out. Oh, Charlie's over there.
Oh, did you? Okay.
Jacob's Drive.
Oh my
goodness.
goodness.
I got West Side has a soft spot right here in my heart.
I got you.
Do you guys have you done any other shows, concerts, big acts that you've had to supply food for?
We don't get a lot at the, of course the acoustics aren't very good in Assembly Hall. So you don't want to bring something that's really good there. We had way more concerts at Notre Dame. Again, the acoustics weren't good, but I don't know I think we were closer to Chicago. So the draw was, if I'm going to be in town, why not go somewhere else? The auditorium gets a lot of great shows that we don't get. We do get to do some interesting things like powwow. We helped host a powwow at Wilkinson Hall. Bill Burr was with us. Gucci Mane is part of the Hoosier Hysteria lineup or whatever.
Yeah.
So, and then I think in the spring they're going to try and bring a concert to the stadium. So
awesome! Yeah, I got to go see Bill. I love Bill Burr, and I got to see him at Assembly Hall, and it was a great show. Yeah. I got so pumped when I was like, Bill's coming through Bloomington, at Assembly Hall too, and he's a big sports guy, so he understood what it meant to be in Assembly Hall. And then Gucci Mane. He's the ice man. He's the ice cream man. I'm supposed to be there, but I got to be in Chicago. But I think it's going to be a great time.
I had to Google him too.
See, he's a little more old school than Boogie with a Hoodie. So at least I know Gucci Mane. He's got an ice cream cone tattoo.
Oh, does he? Okay.
On the side of his face. One of our old staff, shout out Chaz, at the stand, we had an airbrush tattoo artist for Food Truck Friday, and he had her do the ice cream cone on his face.
Oh, that's cool.
And it looked just like it. I was like, is this Gucci Mane right here in front of me? So at the Moose, I've been there so long, we only have a certain number of items, so I had to get creative sometimes on like making something new out of old.
Right.
Do you have something like that at IU, IU Athletics Dining, where you're taking maybe a hot dog and you're doing a popcorn? You know what I mean? You're like getting creative with it, just so you're not having the same old thing over and over again.
Well, I'm not personally, but our chef is. Our chef's very creative. So if you said I want this, he can probably do it for however he wants to do. And then he loves doing specialty things. So we don't get to do that often because some people don't want to come out of the box and be creative. They just want what they think everybody's going to like. Kind of like your ice cream. Everybody's going to like chocolate and vanilla, so you're going to do a McNutty or whatever. So he does love to get creative, but I don't get too much into that because I want to make sure it's something he's proud and wants to do. So we let him take the lead on that.
Right. Yeah. I don't know if you were like if you forget to bring in your own lunch and like, oh, I got to have this again.
Well, I eat like an athlete.
Yeah. That's good. Yeah, I do. 8,000 calories a day.
Exactly.
Same deal. I'm just not doing it for the same reasons.
So you're going to drop off ice cream that I can put in Gucci's dressing room?
Yeah, I feel like we need to make that happen.
I feel like when you guys deliver tomorrow, you should probably do something that we could put in Gucci's dressing room.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks for that heads up. I'm going to have to do that. I'll write Gucci a handwritten note on the top of the Hive Pint.
Yes, you should.
Like Gucci, love you forever, XOXO, Jordan.
Yes, I would.
And he'll know exactly who it was from.
He'll know it's you. Yeah. Like, oh, Jordan.
We go way back.
Yeah.
So I said. Sorry, that was for all the Gucci fans. Anyone that didn't know, I'm sorry you had to listen to that. So the past few years, you've had come through some personal curveballs that have really affected your life, and what you've done with it's been kind of amazing. You've won the Excel Award we were chatting about, and we've got to work together on some different dinners and things like that. But can you kind of tell us kind of what has been going on in your life?
Sure. So in 2015, I was diagnosed with chronic lymphocytic leukemia. And then I had a couple years where I was just on wait and watch is what they call it. But now I'm on chemo every 12 hours. So when I was at the hospital, and I think we don't think about illnesses. I'm sure if I said to you leukemia, you'd be like, no, I don't know. And then I always focused on breast cancer because, of course, that's the biggest cancer out there. And we hear a lot about it, the Susan Coleman and all of that thing where they're raising funds. So it was a life lesson to learn about leukemia. And then you say, why didn't I know? Well, why did I need to know before I got there? So now I'm on treatment. When I was at the hospital, a lot of people were getting food from the cafeteria. I love food, but have you ever heard of a cafeteria in a hospital where you're like, yes, let's get food from here?
Yeah, let's go.
Let's go.
Yeah, no, I haven't. Not exactly.
So everyone was getting food and I didn't understand. And the nurse said, well, people are either too weak when they get home and they can't cook for themselves, or they're the ones who got sick and they were the cook and their caregiver doesn't know how to cook. I'm like, oh my gosh, how sad is that? How sad that we don't think of those things. And so from that I partnered with the cancer support community, and we host a nutrition for wellness class once a month to teach people to either prepare ahead or to give tips and clues to their caregiver on how to feed them while they're going through treatment or post-treatment, what's the best thing to do. Really love that. I help host the yearly Cancer Survivor Day. Because I feel like you've battled and you want to meet other people that have battled as well. So someone's out there that feels like they know what you're going through.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I partner with them a lot. I try to volunteer and get the word out just to be that advocate. Because if I can help one person navigate that, I really had a hard time. So I just want to be there for people who don't know where to go.
Yeah. I mean, that's great that, you're able to take something so great as what you've been able to help through your own struggles, and turn a positive out of a negative. I know you reached out when you were, maybe was it when you first started doing the dinners for wellness, and we got some chefs in there in the Tobias Center, and it was like really interesting to sit on. I mean, because we just passed out some ice cream, so I didn't do anything. But the chefs were super, super talented. The ones you have come through, showing them how to make things that are healthy and easy too. Because like you said, there's certain limitations. You know, you can't do something insanely intricate when you only have so much energy. Right. So I thought it was just a very cool concept, and I love that you're still doing that. And was that because of your work with the Survivors Organization and through these Dinner for Wellness? Is that what led to you winning the Excel Award?
I did. I believe so. So the Cancer Center supported me for that. So I think sometimes I overextend myself and I need to back up. But I try to get in everything I can if they're having a booth somewhere. And I think they just saw the value in that. And then being able to talk to someone who says, you won't understand. And I go, no, I got you. I completely understand what you're going through. And I think that's made an impact. And then that's why they recommended me for the award.
Well, congratulations. It's well deserved. I've known you. We've worked together for years now. And I can think of very few people that might be more deserving than you.
Oh, thank you.
I was very happy when I saw that come across my feed when you first shared, and it made me very happy, and you've earned it for sure.
Oh, thank you.
The Bloomington Town Planner is a community calendar owned and published by local residents John and Sharon Martin. Mailed out to Bloomington homes in December of each year, it features school schedules and community events. And don't forget the coupons at the bottom of the calendar. They'll save you money and help you decide on the next restaurant or retailer to check out here in the Bloomington area. Town Planner also has an online calendar which can be found at townplanner.com. Make sure to sign up for their weekly e-newsletter so you can stay on top of all the fun events going on around town. For the National Survivors Day, one of the other things we've worked on was teeing up a band or a DJ to come out and play, and you normally kind of host it. Did you? I don't know. It's the same year in that south end zone on that.
The first year we did the south end zone. Last year we were going to do it at baseball, and then baseball had a chance to host NCAA, so we kind of got booted. So we ended up in the south lobby. I don't know where it'll go this year. I don't think it necessarily needs to stay at IU because it's a community event, not just an IU event. Yeah. So I would love to partner with someone. Hello, anyone out there? I would love to take it somewhere else so that it's in the community and that it maybe gets a little more draw.
Yeah, but I think it's cool that IU is so willing to seem to help and be like, yes, use our facilities. We want to support this.
Right. And I think that has a lot to do with I work there.
Right. Yeah.
So that kind of helps. But I love that they're not backing away. When I say, can we do this? I think it's important that they back me on that and they don't say, no, we're not going to do that.
Yeah.
So I love that about IU athletics.
Yeah. It certainly helps, obviously. Yeah.
For sure.
That it's you, but it would not a large organization like that could just be like, oh, I'm sorry, we can't.
Right.
So for them to still have that backing, I think because a lot of people too that attend these events maybe won't normally have that opportunity to just hang out and, assembly
That's
hall.
True.
And, mingle and, it's awesome. I love it. I love that. What do you call that plaza, that terrace on the south end zone?
I think they're calling it the rooftop at the Rock.
Okay. Yeah. I knew there was like a catchy
the rooftop
name.
At the Rock. Yeah.
Every time I'm up there, I was like, this is so sweet.
Yeah.
Because you have like the big screen right above you and then the one across.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty happy with what they've done there at Memorial. Yeah. Do you do much work with Hoosiers Outrun Cancer?
I do. So I'm on the, for the second year, since I've been here, I participated. I spoke a couple times as part of the race day. And then in the last couple years, I'm the athletic department representative on the Hoosiers Outrun Cancer Committee, so that when they have an idea, I can present it to athletics versus I feel like we're more meshing now than them trying to reach out and getting IU to understand if I'm actually in the meetings and understand what it is they're trying to achieve.
Yeah. How long has that been going on? It's been a long time.
The 25th anniversary will be this next year.
Man, that's nuts.
Yeah,
and is that
crazy.
So? I've never gone up to it. I'm not much of a runner. I need to go.
You can walk it.
I've helped. I've helped get food trucks, do whatever whenever someone asks. Right. But it takes place at Memorial Stadium, right?
Well, no. This past 2 years, it's been no one's going to know where the green lot is, but in the lot in between the assembly hall and the rec sports tennis facility.
Okay, yeah.
So it's been over there so that the race can start and stop at the same place. Because at the stadium, the start was in one spot and the stop was in another.
Makes it a little more efficient.
A little more efficient, then more of a party atmosphere. I think what they were finding at the stadium is that because it didn't start and finish, people were leaving. And so they're trying to find a way to capture people and get them to stay after the race.
And it seems to be successful.
I think so. I think this year was the best ever. And so they'll just expand on that. We had a meeting where we talked about the pros and cons. And of course it was successful, but what can make it more successful?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you never want to rest on your laurels, want to keep going, figure out how much money did it raise this year?
Not sure I know that off the top of my head, but yeah, quite a bit. I think they met their budget.
Well,
it had the most or people who signed up than they've ever had. And then they're hoping for the 25th that they keep breaking that.
I'd imagine, yeah. Well, I mean, as long as your attendance is going up, I'd imagine the money raised is going up and all going towards a great cause.
Right.
Do you have anything you would say to anyone that might come across this happening in their lives? Just words of encouragement or things that might have helped you?
It's a struggle. It's a struggle. Don't struggle alone. And, I'd be more than happy to be a resource for anyone or reach out to the cancer support community. I'm sure that, like I had a doctor appointment today with the oncology, and I feel like sometimes I'm not heard. And so if people are going through that, don't give up, because I can see where people would just give up and then not advance or try to see what's next, because you have to be an advocate for yourself. And when you're not, then I think you just go, I can't do this. Wow. So reach out to people, get help, ask questions, Google, call me, whatever we need to do.
Hey, I appreciate you sharing that. Yeah. Season 5 of the No Dishes podcast is brought to you by visitbloomington.com. VisitBloomington.com is the best resource for restaurant and culinary information, special events, fun activities, places to stay, and more in our area. We share a similar mission here on the No Dishes podcast of highlighting local businesses and the people who make our community unique. We can't thank them enough for hopping on board. Check them out at visitbloomington.com to easily plan your next meal, visit, or night out on the town. Do you find yourself being able, with the work schedule that you have, being able to go out and enjoy Bloomington restaurants very much?
I do. So when I first moved here, I have a great friend named Lisa, and we went to a gym together. And so every Tuesday, and we're still doing it 8 years later, we pick a different restaurant. So we take turns every week, and we go different places. So yeah, absolutely love it.
What have been some of your favorites?
Don't put me on the spot. I love food.
We're on No Dish. We have to talk specific restaurants.
I love Uptown. We talked about Mother Bears. Love Mother Bears.
Do you have specific things that you like to get at Mother
no,
Bears or
you know,
Uptown, or you like to voyage?
I like to try. Yeah, I like to voyage. Love Fat Dan's for the burger.
Oh, nice.
Love the Mexican restaurants in town, and I feel like each one has a different dish I like. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, like if you go to one, you get that. If you go to another, you get that. Yeah, I love chocolate mousse.
The Buckeyes.
The Buckeyes.
Hope has a thing. So we have these Buckeyes, chocolate covered peanut butter balls. Anytime we're coming to the stadium, it's like, bring Buckeyes, bring Buckeyes.
But back up and
I'm always
tell
happy
them,
to oblige.
But you have to back up and tell them if I go into the store and there are no Buckeyes, I'm texting someone to say who orders the Buckeyes and why are we out of Buckeyes?
That's Aaron, and Aaron's involved with Hoosiers Outrun Cancer.
Yeah,
so you can, I know you can talk.
I got Aaron's cell phone number now, but I still like to text you and say you're out of Buckeyes.
Yeah, bust my chops a
I know
little bit.
you don't order it, but I know you're out of Buckeyes.
Yeah, you can tell that I'm not going up there. If I'm going up there to like munch, I'm like grab a little Oreo or cookie dough are kind of my go-tos.
Okay.
But the Buckeye, every now and then I'll catch a wandering eye over there.
Telling you.
What if you had one go-to place in Bloomington? I'm just gonna keep putting you on the spot.
I don't know that I have one go-to because I love Food Truck Friday and I love being able to try the different trucks. Thank you for putting on Food Truck Friday. Love Food Truck Friday. Love the new Hoosier Fried.
Yeah.
I love Pappy Shack. I wish they would come more often.
I know.
Pappy Shack, come to Food Truck Friday more often. I don't know. There's just a lot of good restaurants out there. Cafe Pizzeria.
Cafe Pizzeria doesn't get as much love as it deserves.
It really is good stuff.
I can't remember if we already talked about this, but we did a trade with them like
a
month ago or so. And we've done it before. We're like, hey, like you guys want to trade? We'll give you ice cream. You give us pizza. And not every time it works out, but it worked out. And every time I get Cafe Pizzeria, I'm like, why do I not get this more? I don't know why it's just not on my radar more. I don't think about it as much, but every time I get it, they always knock it out of the park. And it's different than like Mother Bears might probably be my favorite, right? But they all have their place.
They're all
Pizza
different,
X,
yeah.
Avers,
It's like the Mexican places. Pizza has its different role, or calzones, or the I can't even think of it.
If you want something a little heartier or a little lighter, they all have like their own little specialties that you can dive into and enjoy.
So what's your favorite restaurant in Bloomington?
I don't know if I'm allowed to list. I've got a top 5.
Okay, come on.
But I can't.
What's the top 5?
We're going to have to cut this, Garrett.
No cutting.
We're
not going to cut this.
People that aren't on the 5 are not going to come on here.
This is going out there.
All right. In no particular order.
Wait, let's preface it by you love every restaurant in town. These are just your 5 favorites.
Yeah, well, the thing is, these are all pretty much like all of the top ones for me are like expensive new American. Mm-hmm. So it's like it's kind of not fair to be like, oh, Little Tibet's not a top 5 one for me, but like I love Little Tibet.
Right.
So that's why it's like I don't know if I necessarily rank it that way.
But is it like your top 5 that you visit most often, or that it's just you like a certain dish? You got to qualify what makes it a top 5 item, right?
Right. Well, I'm thinking like top 5, like they are pushing the bound so some of them are up there for me because they push the boundaries and are really doing super creative things. Others are insanely consistent, and there's something to be said for that, for the consistency, for the volume that they do.
Right.
Garrett's smiling. I'm hating this.
I'm waiting for you to say it.
Right,
You're like really drawing it out here.
I feel like I've got small favor, no particular order. Small Favors, Elm, Osteria Rago, Uptown C3. I know I'm missing another.
Isn't that 5?
That is 5. But don't tell him. He can't.
No, but there's one.
You can't eat anywhere else now. Those are the 5.
Feast. I knew there was another Feast. That's my 6.
See? I've eaten at all of those.
I know, yeah, but
I've
they're
been
like
around, yeah.
And they all have their strengths too. Like there's different reasons but you see what I mean? They're all in that kind of same vein, other than Osteria being very strictly Italian.
Right.
The rest of them are all kind of expensive new American, but they all are really, really good. And some are more creative than others. Some are insanely consistent. Some do really good volume. Some have such production in their service, like Uptown.
Right, for sure.
Like, holy cow, man. They are just like, boom, 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 just on it. And I don't think I've ever had anything that wasn't like anything that was overcooked or dry. Like it's so consistent. So yeah, they might not be as creative as Elm or Small Favors and really going out there and changing the menu all the time. But they're they're doing stuff that very few people could execute even if they put their all into it. So I've got the utmost respect for them. I don't know, man. I feel I'm not allowed to have lists. I'm not allowed to have lists.
I'm surprised Cafe Max wasn't on that list.
yeah. Speaking of Culver up north.
I know.
Yeah. Okay.
I know. I've been in Culver. I mean, I've been through Culver many, many times.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's so close to South Bend. All right, you got it out of me. Don't be mad if I didn't mention you.
That's funny.
There's so many places I love that are.
You're
now
welcome.
you have to eat at like 100 other different restaurants
know.
before you go to any of those.
You're welcome, everyone.
As soon as this comes out, my friends at Malibu are going to
They're
text me.
not.
Like, what the hell,
They're
man?
not.
I love Malibu.
You love them all.
I know.
That's why I said it's hard to pick because each has its own niche. I mean, I probably shouldn't say this. I miss King Dough. I like some of King Dough's pizza.
Have you been to Da Vinci?
I have,
Okay.
and it's good, but they just had like the Stinky Pete or whatever. You know, they had their
Right.
niche where you like some of that stuff.
Yeah.
Love the new feast, but I love the old feast even better than you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So there's just different things about the different places here in town.
Have you gone to the Planted Food Truck yet?
Not yet.
So that's Erica Yoakum,
Okay.
who started Feast.
Okay.
The original one. So
Right.
if you like the original Feast, which I don't know, I find them still very comparable personally, but the Planted, it's all vegetarian, it's all vegan.
Yeah, I've seen it at the food truck, but of course I went for the meat.
Yeah.
It's
I
pretty
did-
good. It's pretty
it?
substantial. Yeah, even
Yeah.
for not having actual meat in it. Like, I think the first time I went there, I just got one of each of the featured items
Yeah,
because
yeah.
I couldn't decide, and they were all equally like. One was jackfruit, one was some mushroom
I had one
Reuben,
that was
I think,
like-
and it was super hearty. Like it was like a meat related
Yeah.
type of, sustenance. Like that much food was there, and it was filling. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
really good.
Mine had like the barbecue how do you say it? Is it
Tempeh.
Tempeh.
And
Like-
kombucha.
Kombucha.
Looking to embrace a sober lifestyle or cut back on your alcohol intake? No Buzz Bottles is here for you. Featuring alcohol-free beer, wine, and spirits, there's no need to feel left out at your next get-together. Plus, you'll feel a lot better and be a lot more productive the next day. Locally owned and operated, No Buzz Bottles has a wide variety of offerings, including alternatives for rosé, gin, rum, seltzers, and more. Best of all, they have free local delivery on all orders. Check them out today at nobuzzbottles.com. I forgot. Right after I got Planted on Friday,
That's funny.
I had their harvest apple cider kombucha. I don't.
What are you know? Wait, we know what you're saying. It's okay.
Yeah, booch, the booch.
Yeah, the booch. The booch.
And then whatever, and I see Garrett and his wife and his two beautiful kids, and he's like, "What'd you get, man?" And I was like saying the tempa and the butcher, and he's like, "Yeah, you could tell you're not vegan because of how badly I'm butchering."
Wait, are you vegan?
No.
Oh.
I just lived with some vegans in San Francisco
I
for a
gotcha.
few years.
We actually do quite a bit of vegan at Athletic Dining because
Oh,
we
really?
do have vegan athletes. So we have at least one or two things on the menu that are vegan, and they're starting the food companies. Even the food companies do mass are actually starting to make great stuff
Nice,
that we can offer to the kids. Yeah.
dude. I went. I don't know if you saw my Oscar Mayer wiener post.
I did. That's funny.
I cooked last night, and I did.
What?
I did dishes.
I'm sorry. What?
I know. I went.
We've got to change the name of the podcast.
I know. Yeah. Forget no dishes. It's gone. It's dead.
It's gone.
But yeah, I did meal prep. I cooked. I used my stove.
Wait,
Now,
yeah.
I know this is insane, but this is a big thing. If you know me, this doesn't happen.
Did you meal prep a hot dog or what are we talking about?
No, so I did. I kind of.
Garrett's like, can we bring her back?
I kind of cheat. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they've been before we started recording. They were both teaming up on me. I'm just getting roasted. But no, I did frozen broccoli florets.
Woo!
Florets. Did I say that right?
Florets, yeah.
And then Aldi's has these teriyaki chicken marinated already. And then like the 90-second rice in a bag.
Okay.
Like long green wild, whatever. So I just did the pan with some chicken, did a pot with boiling water and the broccoli. And I seasoned everything. It all tasted great.
When you bought these groceries, did you also buy the pot? Because
So funny thing. The pot I already had. And the pan I already had, but the pan still had
the sticker on it?
the cardboard like thing around the hand. Like I never used it.
Oh my
So
God,
it was
that's
my
funny.
first time using this pan that
That's
had been
funny.
sitting on my stove for months with like a plastic spatula with also the cardboard thing on it. So anyway, I'm 33 and I'm trying to be an adult.
So what brought about this change that all of a sudden that you cooked for yourself?
So if we really want to dive in, I'm trying to.
It's this camera angle right here.
Huh?
It's this camera angle.
Yeah, it's the side view camera angle.
It does it to me too when I'm on camera.
Oh,
it just I'm automatically
It's the
thinking
camera.
about
It's the
Literally,
camera.
the
and
shirt I'm
broccoli.
wearing for the episode after this is black too.
It's the camera.
This is just what I was wearing today, and then I was like, I need something for. So you said you like Fat Dan's. Marty
I love Fat
from
Dan's.
Fat Dan's is coming in after you.
Oh,
and
bring me a
I
Fat
was
Dan's
walking out of the
burger.
Chocolate Mousse to come here, and I was like, shit, I don't have a second thing to wear. I didn't want to just wear this plain white shirt underneath, and so I just grabbed a black Chocolate Mousse shirt as I'm walking out. So I still need to bring that in. But yeah, I did the 10-week thing at Farrell's.
yep.
I'm still down 40 pounds from last year, so I feel pretty good about
Okay.
that. I was at like 320. I'm like 14 months sober, so I've lost a ton of weight, and then I lost like another 15 over the 10-week Farrell's thing. They did a 10-week program. They do like 4 or 5 of them every year, and I like won my group, and thank you. It was great. It's kickboxing, boxing. I went from a 10-minute, 10-second mile to an 8-minute, 3-second mile.
Wow.
Added like 18 push-ups in a minute, but I tweaked my back like right at the end of it, so I couldn't do the sit-up test because my back was still, and it just got worse. So my back got screwed up for like 2 months, then it finally healed up. Then we're going into our 2 busiest months of the year, the Chocolate Mousse, August and September. So I'm just not getting in there. I'm not working out. I'm not eating healthy. And now, as we're finally slowing down, I'm like, okay, I'm going to get back to working out consistently. I'm going to start eating healthy. And so that's where I'm at. I was just like, I'm going to go meal prep. And also, every time I eat out, I know we are here to promote eating out, but I'm spending so much money versus what I used
Right.
to. I just can't afford $25 lunches every day anymore.
Right.
So that was part of it. Anyway,
Well, the cost of food has really gone up too in the last
It has.
couple years and months even.
Oh yeah, I'm not blaming the restaurants. I mean, we've had absolutely. It's just it's not sustainable to eat out all the time anyway, which is what I've done since I was 15. So apparently, it's only sustainable until you're 18.
When your parents are paying. But let's talk about it. I was a yo-yo dieter, so I
Okay.
used to be bigger.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think mine's about portion sizes and still eating everything you want to eat. It's just a matter of how much you eat.
See, now that's so here, and this happens every time I do grocery shop, which is like twice a year. There's so much food around that even when I buy I bought almost all healthy stuff on this Aldi's trip. It was like $200. It was a ton of stuff.
How many cookies did you buy?
So I got one little bag of these chocolate chip cookie thins.
Yeah.
And they're delicious. They're good, but I smashed the whole
It's
bag.
the word thins that makes you feel like they're healthy, right?
That's funny. But that's where you have to read the portions on the back. So
I
you
do,
don't want to
yes.
deny yourself. You just have to go by the portions, right?
But the thing is, when I have all this delicious stuff around, I just keep eating.
yeah.
So I don't know. It's good because it's all healthy because I got like the dried Fuji apples and strawberries. That whole bag is 100 calories.
Right.
So I can just keep
Yeah.
shoveling like I tend to do. And I'm only down 100 calories. But anyway, so I'm hoping you'll see as episodes go on,
Jordan
slimming down.
Shrinking.
Yeah, well, it's just the next step, It's I try not to beat myself up for not working out as much as I want or eating as well because I'm still doing a lot, still getting a lot done, and it's really easy to beat yourself up for not being perfect, being on it. But yeah, I'm trying to I'm at this time now where it's like, okay, time to get back to it as my work responsibilities kind of shrink a little bit going into the colder months. And yeah, the part that stinks is that now I'm gonna have to bring a change of clothes because I normally could just wear shorts, but
Yeah.
as it gets cold, I'm not gonna be wearing shorts like a jackwagon and then go work out. So now I gotta bring those. Anyway, that's where I'm at. That's where I'm at.
But for someone who's yo-yo dieted, I think sometimes you have to take that 3 steps back where you're not in your headspan to get back into your headspan. Because if you stay that way, you can't tell me anyone who stays in that mode the whole time. There's always got to be that step back where you get off the wagon and then you get yourself back on that diet wagon.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I almost think that gives you more motivation to get further than it does if you stayed on and then you stay at a plateau.
Yeah. Well, it's just a matter, I guess, of how long that you take a step back, you
Right,
know,
for sure.
and like how much progress you lose.
But you didn't do it on purpose. You did it because you were busy.
Yeah. Well, it was just a
Right.
perfect storm of, you know, just health. My body couldn't do it. You know, I
Right.
was literally cranked like this when I stood up and had to stand in the doorway, like pop my hip in just
Yeah.
to like be straight, you know, and it, excuse me. I don't know. It's but yeah, it's just looking at where I want to be, what I want to accomplish, and I feel like I just gotta start eating healthier, being healthier, and I love the workout. That it's
Yeah.
great people over there. I just get to hit a bag, and it's really good for mental health.
Right.
Working out, it's insane how much sharper you are, how much better mood you are when you're like going once a day.
For sure.
And just kicking the shit out of a bag for 45 minutes, you
You
know?
didn't have Garrett's picture on it, did you? When you
No. I tried, and they said
They said
you're
no.
not allowed.
They
They'd
said
had that in
no.
the past, where other people tried putting Garrett's picture up.
I got you.
Now it's just like a torch cone on the bag. Yeah.
Yeah, and
You dang
I put
torch
it-
cone.
yeah,
Look
I
what
put-
you've done to me.
I put one of the eyes backwards, so it has just the O face. Oh no! What are you doing? Wow. Well, I didn't expect us to go diving into where I'm at in my. I guess we're going more podcasty now. And
Sorry.
no, it's good. You're bringing it out of me, Hope.
I mean, again, I'll guess I can come back.
Anytime. Better business, better community. For over a century, the Greater Bloomington Chamber of Commerce has been a cornerstone of business growth and community development. They are dedicated to helping local businesses thrive. Their business is all about your business. Join the Chamber today. Call 812-336-6381 or visit chamberbloomington.org to learn more.
All right. So Jordan's top 5 cheat places to go when you're not eating right.
Cheat?
Yeah, your cheat day. Like, what's your guilty pleasure in Bloomington?
Chocolate mousse, Dairy Queen.
Yeah, I did. I think I've talked about it before. I used to, anytime we delivered ice cream to Babs and Spencer,
Would you?
which we don't deliver out there anymore, but I would stop at the Dairy Queen out there
Would you?
because we didn't have cheesecake bites at the time.
Okay.
So when we brought on Buckeyes, we brought on cheesecake bites.
Who
'Cause-
cares?
Well, because I've been talking, to Lovey for forever. I was like, dude, we need cheesecake bites. Like, there's something about the texture
Yeah.
because we have cheesecake ice cream,
Right.
not quite the same. And he's the one that wanted Buckeyes, so he's like, we'll bring on cheesecake
Thanks,
bites, but I
Lovey.
want Buckeyes. Yeah, so you can thank him.
Thanks, Lovey.
But every time I made that delivery, I'd take a picture with my Dairy Queen and send it to him. Be like, you won't fire me. I'm just kidding.
You're like, sometimes you just have to taste it. So I can say, yes, chocolate mousse is the best.
Yeah, thank you. I'm Brad. We did. I was over at One World yesterday, and I got to sit in on their kind of meeting that they have with the head of Pizza X, One World Catering, and it was really interesting. And they might switch over to our cookie dough ice cream at Pizza X from Ben and Jerry's.
Oh, well.
And they did a blind taste test, and that was very illuminating on because there's pros and cons to each between our cookie dough and Ben and Jerry's. Ben and Jerry's has bigger chunks, but some bites you get will be just vanilla.
I believe they're called gobs.
Oh, sorry. Gobs of cookie dough and chocolate, and ours has much smaller, but it's in every bite. So it's just a matter of kind of a preference. But it was really cool to sit down with people and have them not know which of them is your ice cream and to hear the feedback.
Yeah.
So we might start doing that. So if you want to do chocolate mousse blind taste testing, if you've made it this far into the episode, Hope is signed up. I think that leaves us with 8 slots more.
I've got a hand in the air.
Garrett.
No, I don't see. I just see Hope.
I saw Garrett's hand.
All right, 5 cheats. Are we just going to turn this into a listicle
We
pod?
We are.
All right, Fat Dan's is a cheat for me for sure. I feel like anytime I do pizza, I'm cheating. I feel like that's a big. And you know, I kind of bounce between all of them. I don't like, you know what I mean?
Right,
Like
yeah,
Mother
yeah.
Bear's, Pizza X, Crazy Neighbors.
Exactly. It's what you're feeling.
Yeah. What
what
am I
you're
in the
feeling.
mood for
Yeah.
that day? Man, I need to. It's not really a cheat one, but Osteria, I need to get back there. I just think of them because they have pasta. Pastas a lot of times could be a cheat dish. I don't know, man. I love wings. Upstairs pub, Buffalo's. I did some sweet Q from Buffalo's the other day. Anytime I can get some good wings. Although, is that Is that really cheating? I mean,
Wings?
No, I don't think wings are cheating. They're lower in fat, so
It's
I
just
think
protein. You're just.
I think Ed made the case on his episode. He was like, well, if I had to eat something every day, I can't eat carbs every day.
Right.
Yeah.
So it would be
'cause
wings.
You think
know?
about like, oh, you went to B-dubs, like you're eating not well. Like, but it's like, no, I'm protein loading, bro. You know? Am I wrong? All right, I'm wrong.
We didn't say you were wrong, but
I'm getting
it's
looks
funny
like I'm
it's funny that your cheats are all food and my cheats would all be sweets.
Oh, well, so
We didn't even go into that category.
Yeah.
I know. I
so
find different sweets.
on that note, I hate having this monitor just looking at myself
just like-
too.
It's not a cheat because it's in every meal anyways, right?
You know, it
gotta
adds
have
five.
a baked good.
Yeah, it adds 5 pounds when you're talking about food while you're on the screen. I can just see myself growing. Two sticks, Rainbow Bakery. I love all the bakers we have in town are really phenomenal. What was the baked? Whenever I get done at Brothers on a bingo on a Thursday, I will zip up to 7 and be coming down Washington. Sometimes I'll park and walk up. It just depends on what usually I'm running behind, which is why I drive there. And I'll pull over to Baked, get a chocolate milk and 1 or 2 cookies. And I go off whatever's in the case.
Right.
I'm
You
a
don't
busy
have-
man.
You need it then.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm not going to sit there and wait like an idiot.
No.
Like an idiot.
They're already done. They're waiting for you.
They're just
They've
exactly.
already been baked.
Buy me, Jordan.
Oh, all right. Well, we've gone off the rails. What are we talking about? This is where we're at now. How much we're losing all full
Jordan's
amount.
like,
Are you fine
are
with
we
it?
about done with this?
No, I'm good with it. This is great. This is oh god. All right. Was that 5? I think that was 5.
I think you hit 5
Oh,
in
you
there.
want healthy? I'll give you healthy.
Yeah,
Okay.
hit me with the 5
Okay.
healthy spots.
So obviously we support local, but Sweet Green has been great since they opened. Been very convenient for me. I like the food. Feta.
Yep.
Feta does phenomenal healthy stuff. It's also very close to the Moose. The salad at D'Angelo's, their like original salad, but adds salmon, is by far my favorite in town. I don't even know how to describe it. You have to try it to really understand just how good it is. Garrett got to see me get it. The one time I didn't get it carry out, Garrett and I had
I also got a salad, but I think with shrimp, and it was pretty phenomenal.
Yeah, so shout out D'Angelo's on their salad game. Nourish on 6th Street next to Little Zagreb's. They do a green apple and duck confit like goat cheese one, which is also fantastic. I like the salmon one at the Tap. Their salad like sesame, little tortilla strips or wonton strips. I don't know what they call them. Crazy Horse has a really good one where you can double up the chicken breast and it's still really affordable. So that one's good. Anyway, I bet you didn't know I knew so much about salads.
We knew you knew it. Now everyone knows.
It's a food. I mean,
It is a
you
food.
eat it.
Yeah. Whenever I'm rabbit cosplaying.
Oh,
All right. Hope, thanks so much for your time. Is there anything we didn't get to or cover?
I don't think so. This has been fun. I'd love to come back. I'd love to put you on the spot. It's always great.
Yeah, I feel bad. I feel like the last 15 minutes is just you listening
No,
to me
it's-
talk.
No, we talked. But again, happy to be here. If I could help anyone, or if you need help, go to the cancer support community. If anybody wants to know about athletics or learn more, they can contact me for that as well.
Yeah, well, you're an incredible person. I'm so grateful for you being here, and I look forward to continuing to work with you and seeing you at Food Truck Friday.
I know, right? Thank you.
Thanks, Hope. What another great episode. Thanks again to Visit Bloomington for being our Season 5 title sponsor. If you haven't checked them out yet, go to visitbloomington.com. This episode of the No Dishes podcast was recorded, edited, and produced by Garrett Portinga of Green Hat Media in beautiful downtown Bloomington, Indiana.
No dishes.
No Dishes Media.
No Dishes Media.